you can break every bone in your brain trying to sort through this playoff picture. Thank God we have Steve Kornacki on Sunday nights. All right, Charean, we're going to go through some of these teams, one each. One for each of us, four each, and we'll probably go back and forth a little bit on it. But let's start with the Tennessee Titans. I want you to make your case for and against, if we can actually do that efficiently, the Titans making it to the playoffs this offseason. Or this, they know who we mean, this postseason.
Yeah.
Postseason, offseason.
Yeah.
It's offseason for some, it's postseason for others. Go ahead.
Well, the Titans have a game lead right now on the Colts, and I think with the schedule they have left, they also have the tiebreaker. The schedule they have left, I think they get in. I think because they have Houston left on their schedule, but they've already lost to Houston, 22-13 in Week 11. They also lost to the Jets in Week 4, so it's not necessarily a team you can trust. But they're getting A.J. Brown back. They activated him today. He's going to return to practice, and they could get Derrick Henry back at some point, whether it's before the end of the season or into the postseason. I do think this is a team that gets into the postseason. They've lost 3 of 4. I get that. But with the 49ers, the Dolphins, and the Texans left on their schedule, they're going to get to 10 wins. The question is, how many more can they get above that? I think the 49ers and Dolphins will be hard wins. But if they can just split those 2 games and beat Houston, they're at 11. So I think this is a team that gets in.
I think it comes down to 49ers, Dolphins. Do they go 2-0, 0-2, or 1-1? And that leads to the Colts, because I think the Colts are going to get in. The question is, can they win the division? Now, if it's a tie, the Titans win because the Titans swept the Colts this year. But if the Colts, go 3-0 and the Titans, go 1-2, then the Colts are going to win the division. They got the Cardinals on Christmas night. What a gift that one is. That should be a great one because the Cardinals all of a sudden are getting a little shaky. The Colts are looking great. Raiders, Jaguars, winnable games on the back end. The Colts could run the table. I think they will go at least 2-1, and that should be enough. 10-7 should be enough to get in this AFC playoff field. So the Colts are getting in. The real question in my mind is, do they ultimately win the division? Charean, you take the team that for now is in first place in the AFC North, the Cincinnati Bengals, and they'll stay there if the Browns end up losing this afternoon to the Raiders.
Yeah, and, I don't know about their changes. To me, they're just so up and down. They haven't seemed to get that they're a good team, that they can win. There's a process to learning how to win. They're 8-6, but they have the Ravens, Chiefs, and Browns. I'm just kind of iffy on all 3 of those games. Are they going to be able to win one of those games, 2 of those games? I certainly don't see them winning all 3 of those games. I don't, just with the way they've played this season. I think they're good enough to win all 3, but I don't think they will because I don't think they've totally bought into, hey, we're really good. We can be really special this season. If they win 2 of 3, they have a 67% chance to make it. I'm not even positive they can win 2 of 3, Mike.
When they beat the Ravens in Baltimore Week 7, that felt like the moment they arrived, and then it's also where they kind of fell apart. And they lost a couple, won a couple, lost a couple, won one. So they're very inconsistent right now. There is a chance they're going to tumble out of it altogether, and they don't have an easy stretch. My topic, Patriots and Bills, both getting in. I think I hate to say it because the problem is I'm gonna have a 10-team playoff field in the AFC if I keep saying, they're going to get in, they're going to get in. Somebody's not going to get in. That's the point of this. I think the Patriots are going to win this weekend, and they're going to get in. And let's pull up the Bills' schedule if we can, because let's give the Bills an L this weekend, and they drop to 8-7. So it's going to come down to the final 2 games for Buffalo. And it could be that we have a whole cluster of 10-7 teams. They should be able to beat the Falcons and the Jets at home in January. That's what it's going to come down to. I think they lose to the Patriots. Patriots get in. Patriots win the division. They beat the Falcons and the Jets. Will 10-7 be good enough? Again, it may come down to various tiebreakers and various formulas, and you're going to have multiple teams with the same record, and some are getting in and some aren't getting in, Charean.
Oh, that's exactly it, which leads us to the Chargers. They're sitting there at 8-6, Mike, and I think they're better, just like last season. I think they were better than their record last season. I think they're better than their record this season. We know what happened against the Chiefs the other night when they had a chance to win that game and propel themselves as perhaps the favorite in that division, and they didn't get it done. But they have the Texans, Broncos, and Raiders left. I think they win out. If they don't go 3-0, they don't deserve to get in, Mike.
And I agree with you. And there are going to be good teams that we've talked about in glowing terms at some point this season, and the ups and the downs and the highs and the lows that aren't going to get in. The Ravens among them. The Ravens at one point were one of the best teams in the NFL. It feels like they are struggling to the finish line. This game against the Bengals is critical. They've lost 3 in a row by a total of 4 points. And I think John Harbaugh's done a great job of holding this team together. But I think at some point, just the pressure, and it just breaks. It just snaps, and it may snap this weekend. I think whoever loses this Bengals-Ravens game isn't getting in. It's kind of like an early playoff game in the AFC North. And if the Ravens lose this game, I think they are out. I think they are done, especially because they have the Rams and Steelers to finish it up. So I don't think the Ravens are going to get in, and it's going to take a ton of work for them to turn it around at this point.
Well, and I'm going with the Steelers. I don't think they're going to get in. And I know you've made the case that tie could be the difference maker for the Steelers. They have the Chiefs, the Browns, the Ravens left. I just don't like their chances. Probably going to have to win out. I don't see them winning out. I don't think they beat the Chiefs. That's just going to be a huge game. They're going to have to win that one if they want to get in. The only reason to say they're going to get in is because it seems like they're always in. And I was surprised when I went back and looked. In Tomlin's previous 14 seasons, they actually missed the playoffs 7 times. Of course, had no losing records. They were 8-8 a few of those years. But this is a team that's always a contender, always around there. Yes, they have a chance, but I just think with this crowded field, it's going to take them winning out, and I don't see them winning out.
But that's the Steelers, and from the moment they had that tie, boy, that's going to be a factor.
You said it.
And it's going to be either them just missing it or just getting in. And after seeing how they played yesterday, I feel like they're going to just get in. The Dolphins, I feel like, are going to just not make it in. Great for them to win 6 in a row. It's been fun to watch it happen. But, we saw it last year. We after the game right around Christmas time when Ryan Fitzpatrick had his head twisted off his body and he threw the pass in overtime. And it was just one of those exciting nights of football at the Saints, at the Titans, and the Patriots to finish the season. I think if they lose one, they're done. And because 10-7 is going to be it. There's going to be a group of teams at 10-7. Some are getting in, some aren't. And if you're anything worse than 10-7, you're not getting in, unless the Steelers can leapfrog that group with, what would it be, 10-6-1, and punch their ticket that way. It's starting to make sense, I think.
Hi, I'm Mike Tirico, and thanks for watching. Make sure to hit subscribe for the latest news and highlights from NBC Sports.